Hello and welcome to the Will Leitch Show. I am the aforementioned Will Leitch, and I thank you for spending part of your day with me. Today's show is about concussions. I have had 2 concussions. The first came when I was a kid. I was playing basketball with some family members, and when I went up for a rebound, someone accidentally kicked my feet out from under me, and I landed right on my head. The other time, I slipped on some ice while running to catch a cab, and again, landed right on the back of my head. I passed out each time and woke up to people standing over me, wondering if I was dead. Now, I had all the symptoms of a concussion both times. I felt dizzy and nauseous. Bright lights made my eyes wince and water. I had a hard time sleeping for a few days. But you know what I did about it? Nothing. I didn't even think about it. If I'd have complained about it, people would have looked at me like I was a hypochondriac. Get over it so you got your bell rung. It's funny to hit your head. In cartoons, they make the little birdies fly around your head to show you've been hit hard there. It's hilarious. Of all the things in sports we talk about differently now than we did 20 years ago, concussions are at the absolute top of that list. There is nothing funny about concussions anymore. They're an existential threat to the NFL, the thing that keeps most of the league's executives up at night. They've changed the way we watch football and boxing and MMA and even soccer. They've led to superstars, including today's guest Dale Earnhardt Jr., who estimates he has had more than 20 concussions, to end their careers in their primes so they can actually live long, healthy lives. Former NFL player Bart Scott has compared playing football to working in a coal mine, an inherently dangerous activity that he does so his son doesn't have to. Now, this is human progress, learning that something we didn't used to take seriously is actually extremely harmful to us. It's why we don't smoke on airplanes anymore, or line our homes with asbestos, or drive without seatbelts. We understand what concussions do to our brains, so we try to prevent them now. Progress! But of course, with progress comes those who want to stand in the way of progress, who try to halt history with nostalgia, who say things like, football is soft now, or we don't go by these new and very much softer NFL rules. Concussions, oh no, you got a little ding on the head, oh, you can't play for the rest of the season. No, our people are tough. Those are exact quotes from the President of the United States, by the way. There are people who actually think that concussions are no big deal, that we're somehow all wimps now. There are people who believe that watching other people get hit in the head so hard that their brain rattles around their skull isn't just an ideal entertainment option, but in fact their basic human right. And that trying to make it safer is actually bad for the sport. I used to mock people who claimed that our sports were like the gladiators of old, with bloodthirsty spectators cheering for the deaths of strangers. But then you look around and, well, sometimes it makes you just want to bash your head against the wall. We are delighted to have on the show today NASCAR legend and broadcaster whose new book, Racing to the Finish, My Story, is out now at bookstores everywhere. It's probably behind you right now. Please welcome Dale Earnhardt Jr. Sir.
Hey, how are you?
A pleasure by all means. Thank you. Please come. Welcome. Thank you for slumming it to come on and play with me for a little bit.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it.
I can tell. First question, we do kind of a theme for every show, and obviously you've talked about concussions in the book, and I'm curious. I think one thing, as a fan that's watched sports for a long time, it feels like concussions are something that we didn't talk about at all, and now is like I think the centerpiece of conversations in a very good way. Yeah. But I'm curious, is there a way to really truly reduce concussions in sports without actually just either getting rid of sports altogether or changing the sport so dramatically that it doesn't feel like the sport anymore?
Right. So I think there is a way to reduce those injuries, and that's by giving the individuals that play the game more knowledge and understanding of how they happen. And, knowing the dangers and the harmful situation that you can put yourself in by layering concussions on top of each other, I think players can be and will choose to be smarter about how they play those games and still yet be effective at playing them. I would never tell a driver to not be a race car driver or not play football or not box or whatever you want to choose to do. Just have this information so that if you do find yourself in a situation where you have an injury, make the right choices to get yourself the right help so you can continue to play those sports.
If you, because I remember Bart Scott, the old NFL player, he always talked about, he did an interview about concussions, and he said, well, I play football, so my son doesn't have to, which was, I thought was a weird thing to say. It was like it was a coal miner or something.
Yeah.
I felt that was almost like an existential threat to football and that kind of idea. The idea that Bart Scott, this really tough guy, this really awesome player, saying, I'm doing this so my kid can go do something else. I'm curious, as someone that had all that had you known at 22 that you're going to have this many concussions someday, would it actually have changed anything?
That's a great question. I think that if I'd have known in 2012 when I went to Kansas Motor Speedway for a tire test, and if I'd have known I was going to crash that day, I certainly wouldn't have gotten in the car.
Right.
I can't say that, I don't know that I would have totally decided to do something different.
Right.
But I go back to the fact that even in my own career in the first 10 years, I knew nothing about concussions.
Right. I think very few of us did.
Right. I didn't know what a concussion was, what it meant to me. I was having them, but I didn't know that I needed to treat them. I didn't know anything other than just going and sitting on a couch like this and resting was the thing you did. And so the back end of my career, I got a lot of education on concussions, going through them and going to a doctor and understanding how they happen, how to treat them, and knowing that stuff now, I feel way more equipped and much better suited to go out and compete and race more races,
Right.
If I choose to do that. And so,
Theoretically.
right, if I give that information and knowledge to a current driver, I feel much better about his future.
Right. Do you watch not just NASCAR, but I mean football and any sport? Do you watch the sport differently now, knowing this?
Only when I see a bad collision or a bad crash. I certainly, when I would see a bad crash, and as a kid, you'd go, wow, that's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Right.
Oh, my God.
Right. Like, okay.
Yeah.
As long as everybody's okay.
Right.
That was cool.
Oh, yeah, you're looking at the car and crawling all over it going, look at the damage. Just
That was amazing.
unreal.
Of course.
Now, when I see crashes after having gone through that experience, my mind immediately goes to that driver and his health. And I immediately have this real concern for how he is,
Right.
and knowing what he just experienced. So that, I think, will always be part of it. And
Do you feel then, because that, I think we kind of captured something there with that idea of that excitement. Like once you knew everyone was okay immediately from a crash, there was always kind of that was amazing. Like it's part of the fun of the sport, right? Like just like in football, a big hit is a big thing. And I'm wondering, just as an observer, does it make it less fun? Does it change? I know you're worried about the driver, but I mean, even it was kind of a fundamental part of NASCAR and of football, these things, the idea of like the danger of it and that sort of idea. Do you think, this is part of the age, right? Like we know more stuff now, we know more things. And so therefore we can't just be and not immoral, but amoral about the consequences of our games. We have to at least know. Do you think existentially for NASCAR and for NFL, it makes it harder for fans, or should it make it harder for fans to like watch or support?
No.
I
I don't watch a Redskins game. I'm a huge Redskins fan.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
I don't watch those games differently.
Right.
I don't watch them with less enthusiasm or newfound concern for that player's future. I mean, there was a moment when I was going through the rehab and going through my own problems that I wondered whether I should have a concern about being a fan of boxing. I was a huge boxing fan all my career, all my life. And I thought, wow, do I need to look at this differently? Do I not need to, celebrate this match that's happening and go to these matches and enjoy watching them on TV and buy the pay-per-views? Am I buying into this whole idea that a guy's about to punch his brains out?
Right.
And here I am, going through that experience myself. But I feel like that it's every person's right to choose to do what they want to do. I really want to give them everything I can, knowledge-wise, before they do it.
Right.
All right? And then go forward and choose to handle that situation however you wish. But know, they need to know everything they can. I wouldn't want a player to go out on the field without that knowledge of how to handle themselves when they do have a concussion and how to know where to go get treated, know what kind of treatment to look for, and know what kind of symptoms and signs to look for when you're in danger. And then I feel good about watching them play the game.
Okay, it's being a thoughtful sports fan. This is something I think we're all kind of trying to figure out in kind of this new age.
Yeah, everybody falls differently.
Yeah, I think it's totally reasonable. I think I really still really like all of these sports. So at a certain level, you just do the best. Okay. That was very serious. I swear it's my phone now. Now I have like a clown wig that I take out and put on.
Oh, really? Okay.
And no, I don't do that, Mike.
All right.
Okay, we have a section for you to do with every guest called Frivolous Questions of Dubious Import. So some of these are serious, but most of them are just silly, but specifically catered to you, Dale Earnhardt Jr. First of all, I guess I have a general question about NASCAR. There's been some idea like the ratings are down or people that's watching. Mm-hmm. Do you think that they were too high before? I guess things are too high, but it was artificially inflated before, and this is about where it should be? Or do you think that there's something that's fallen backwards?
Yeah, so I believe in everything being in cycles. I believe that the world goes in cycles, fashion, and so that sounds real crazy, but
no, I'm with you. If you see what the NBA players wear, that's got to be circular.
Right, things come and go. What's good will be bad, will be good again, and will be bad again. And I feel like I'm confident that there'll be a spike in ratings. There'll be another boom in the sport one day. We are not in that boom right now, but I don't fear that it's a never-ending spiral.
Right. You don't think it's a permanent dip?
No.
It's come right back over.
And so I don't share a lot of the same concerns.
Are there real like doomsday? I'm not a doomsayer.
There's some doom.
There's some doom and gloom people,
man. Right? You go on social media and there's people that are.
Well,
this is why it's tanking. This is why
people are doom and gloom on social media.
I know.
Cookies.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't share that concern. I really don't, and I'm okay with where we are. But I know that the sport as a whole and the people that run it, the execs, the networks, all those people want it to be as big as it can be.
Right.
And
everything's got to be that. That's capitalism, right? Yeah. Everything's supposed to be as big as possible all the time.
Yeah, I hope I'm on that ride because it'll go back one day.
Okay, so you have in the past tweeted your support for like kneeling for the flag, and it made me wonder because I was very excited because I have to say politically I am probably more to the left myself, and it made me wonder: are there like a bunch of like secret? Secret NASCAR, or is it just you, supporters of that kind of idea? Like, are you the most? You campaigned for George W. Bush. You're hardly Antifa,
right.
But I'm curious. Like, are you the most left wing NASCAR? You don't think so? No, they're there.
Not at all. Yeah, I think that I just sort of pick and choose per battle where I lie and use my own personal choice and judgment and common sense on how I feel about certain things and particular items and conversations. And I think that there are a lot of drivers like that there's not, you don't have to be over here or over there. It's really just, where do you sit on this particular subject and this particular subject? And when our sport, I'll say this. So when I first started driving race cars in the Cup Series, there were only 2 drivers in the series that weren't born in North Carolina or in the southeast mid-Atlantic region. And now in the sport today, there's only 1 or 2 guys out of the 40 that were born in North Carolina. So the sport, and the majority of the drivers are from the West Coast in California.
So that will change the matter.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good to know. Okay. One thing I love about NASCAR is obviously the logos. I'm wondering, now that you've retired, do you have like a robe that you like walk around in that has like a bunch of logos on it just to feel like you're not appropriate? I kind of like that idea. Just like I just miss having all the logos. That's not.
Oh yeah,
that's just
similar to that.
That's just an advertisement for love.
Yeah, it is. It's a very nice robe. I have robes, but they're real basic.
They're real basic.
Yes, they're very basic.
Silky, probably for the best. Do you have a gas tank at your house? Is that correct? I feel like that would change my life to have.
Well, so I just buy in bulk.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little cheaper.
Like the Sam's Club of
yeah.
It's like the I understand. So but like you.
That
literally...
was some advice that I got from somebody that was in my situation, an older driver.
Right.
He said, first thing you need to do, because I have a 300-acre property and we mow grass all
Right.
day. And he's like, the first thing you need to do is buy gas in bulk, get a tank, and get them to come out there and pump it up.
I want that. I
Yeah.
totally want that. I don't think I have. My acres are not quite as vast,
Hey.
however. Did you really check Twitter in your car? Did you? I had heard that. That's not true. You did not check Twitter in your car.
No, I didn't check Twitter in my
Okay,
car.
good. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yeah, that would be
That
smart.
would be- that
I
would-
would get in real big
mean-
trouble with my team for not focusing.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure there's lots. I don't mean like while you're in the stretch run, but
Well,
like.
I always had my phone in the car.
Right.
And if we're practicing and I'd come in and maybe check it during practice in between.
Are you a heavy Twitter? Or will you? What is literally the last second that you looked at Twitter? Like the last.
Oh, just before I came.
Yeah.
home.
So you're like the rest
Yeah,
of us then. Yeah.
absolutely. I kind of.
Do you check mentions or do you just?
Yeah. So especially like we're doing this media tour for the book, and I'm seeing kind of where people are on the book and how they're feeling about it. And I go as far as posting, it kind of comes and goes in waves. Days where I don't mess around with it, and then days where I just post all day long and
Okay.
no rhyme or reason.
You're good. I think you're better at it than I am.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, every time I look at it, it makes me sad. You said that you're a Washington football fan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, Daniel Snyder, is he making things worse or is he making things better?
Daniel is a
This is the
yeah. This
Go
is,
on.
Right. Daniel wants to win as much as anybody else in that stadium that's at the game. Daniel was a fan,
Right.
all his life, and came into some money in his own businesses, bought the team like any fan would, and he just so badly wants to win. Maybe he's his own worst enemy in that respect, but he's gotten so much better about being a little more hands off as far as football operations, more in charge of how to run what is the Redskins as a whole, and I'm good with it. He's
Okay.
incredibly.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's incredibly.
I'm not sold. I'm not
You're not
sold.
sold?
I'm not
I
a Washington
am.
fan. So,
Yeah.
So okay, three more questions. You were once in a Nickelback video.
Yeah.
Do you want to apologize
No.
to America?
No, that was great.
That was great.
Rockstar.
Rockstar, yes.
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
There were a lot of other people in that
There
video.
were. You were
that
not the only one.
I know. Like I was like, holy, I'm in this video with these other people.
Right.
So I felt like.
All right. So you don't feel like this is something
No.
you should apologize.
Heck no. Given the opportunity, anyone else would have done the same thing.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, two more. You, like me, are married to an interior designer.
Yes.
And so does that make you feel as stupid walking around your house regularly as it does me? Because it makes me feel very stupid.
Does it? I get so, I don't know if so she asks my opinion on things.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh.
like, are you making fun of me?
I know. My wife has stopped doing
You're
that.
very good at this, and I don't know nothing about design. And she's like, what do you think about this rock and this thing here and this tile? And
So she is actually still asking. My wife stopped years
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
She stopped asking me about
she wants me to like have an opinion and be involved and not come in later once it's all finished and go, what? Why?
So have you invested enough now to actually have an opinion, or are you just saying something that will get the question?
I'm
over
still
with?
working on how to do that. There's a middle ground.
Yes,
there.
yeah.
She knows when you're just trying to mail it in.
I have failed so many times
Yeah,
that she's
me
just
too.
stopped
Yeah.
asking. Okay, last question. I ask this of every guest, then we have a short little game after
Sure,
this.
yeah.
Last question of every guest. The world is kind of crazy right now. Everything seems a little tumultuous.
Yes.
I really kind of need my guests to make me feel better. Are we going to be okay? Are we going to be all right, or is it all that?
Is it the
Just
comet coming?
meteors and everything's falling apart.
We're gonna be fine.
We're gonna be fine.
Yes.
We're gonna be fine. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Everything's gonna be fine.
That will be my
be
mantra
okay.
as I fall asleep, when I
going to
turn
be
the lights
good.
off. Dale Earnhardt Jr. says it's going to be fine. Okay, last thing we do, we have a game, we play a game every time. This one's called Speed Trap with Dale Earnhardt Jr. I'm going to give you two items or animals or people or something, two things that move fast. And you tell me which one its top speed is faster. Okay? Because you know fast
Yeah,
things,
sure.
driving
Which
and
is
all.
top speed is faster.
So yeah, which top speed is faster? Okay, the first question number one, a cheetah or the speed limit in the state of Montana, which is 80, obviously. No, we were just going to give that away.
I don't think a cheetah can run 80, but it's gonna be close.
Okay, so what's your pick?
I'm gonna go the speed limit.
That is correct. That is correct. 80, a cheetah, 75.
Oh, okay. Well, it's close.
Well, it is pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, question number two. World famous sprinter Usain Bolt
Yep.
or a grizzly bear? Who is faster, Usain Bolt or a grizzly bear?
Bolt.
Well, no, that is incorrect.
Oh,
His
really?
top speed is 27.8. Grizzly bear is 37.
Oh, wow.
But again, remember, it doesn't matter because as the old adage goes, you don't have to be faster than the bear.
Just
you
faster
have to
than
be
your
faster
buddy.
than your buddy. So
Yeah.
hopefully, this is why I'm not friends with this among many reasons. But
Yeah.
that's the main one. If I'm ever with him and a bear. Okay, 3 more. A DeLorean. A DeLorean, and this is not specifically that DeLorean, the speed to take you back into,
Yes.
or Herbie the Love Bug, which has a top speed that's faster.
I'm going to go with the DeLorean. Did it only go 80?
I went, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is this is the DeLorean as a model, not
Okay.
necessarily the speed that sent them through time.
Yes, okay, so I'm going to go with the DeLorean.
That is correct. 80 miles an hour. The Love Bug got up to 72, which is.
Okay.
I imagine the steering wheel's probably
Yeah.
shaking quite a bit.
Probably so.
Okay, 2 more. The Hadron Super Collider, or Kenny Powers.
Oh, definitely Kenny Powers.
Kenny Power, that's
Yes.
correct. Hadron Super Collider is 280 miles per second, and Kenny Power is undefined, but I can only assume it is infinite,
Yes.
or at least approaches the infinite. It's Kenny Power.
Absolutely.
I miss that show.
Yeah, I do too.
So great. Speaking of North Carolina. Okay, and the last question, top speed of their vehicle, Dale Earnhardt Jr., or Jerry Seinfeld, which in his 1986 Porsche 959, is introduced as the fastest street legal production car.
I've definitely gone faster than Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's correct. 215 to 150. That would be, I have to say, that would upset me if Jerry
I
Seinfeld
would
at
be
some
upset
point
with
had
that.
gone faster.
Yes, I would
than
be
you.
very upset with that.
Okay, good. That's reassuring to know.
myself.
That would be weird. But for the record, I also think you're funnier.
Oh,
Yeah, I've never met Jerry Seinfeld. So.
now I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I know. You definitely can go faster. I'm certain of that. All right, well, sir, thank you very much for your
Yeah.
time. Thank you very much. The book is Racing to the Finish, My Story. It is out now, bookstores everywhere. Thank you, sir, by all means. Thank you for watching the show. Please come back to SITV or wherever your Will Leitches are sold.